Warning! This video contains spoilers of the newest Jane the Virgin episode. You have been warned. Thank you!
Hey guys, what's up? It's Ree. So, like you saw please, this is your last warning. If you do not want to see spoilers of the newest episode of Jane the Virgin, I really recommend that you do not watch this unless you do want to hear the spoilers. Now, let's get on with this. So, as you may have saw in previous episodes, Michael gets shot during Jane and Michael's honeymoon, and I was like, wow. And it was season finale of season 2, so everyone was on edge. No one knew what was going to happen. Well, if you saw in later episodes, he did actually recover, which was really good. Now, he did have risk factors, like, I believe it was paralysis and something else, or death. Yes, every surgery has death, but this was a very high chance because of where the gunshot wound was located. Anyway, he makes it out. He does physical therapy, but unfortunately, he cannot go back to the Force. And as the Force, I'm not making a Star Wars reference. I am talking about the Miami Police Force. Anyway, you move on. He thought about doing the desk work, but he said no. And then you move on to later episodes, and he decides that he wants to become a comedian, and that fails. And so then he decides he wants to be a lawyer. And I was like, yay, he found his passion. We're so happy. We're just waiting for them to get on with their life so we can see new things. Well, here's the thing about that. He passes his last practice test, and Jane and Michael have a pregnancy scare, which, yes, it's kind of important, but it's not that important. Okay, so you keep moving through the series, and he passes his practice test, like I said, and they have that pregnancy scare, which is important, but it's not, because it kind of puts you on edge, like, oh my god, is this an actual thing? That same episode, they do recreate their first date, which was at a carnival that Michael suggests on, I believe, the Ferris wheel, that they should bring Mateo, which is Jane and Raphael's son, if you remember, by artificial insemination. He says we should bring Mateo to this carnival. Or I think it was a carnival. It looked like a carnival, you know what I mean? Like, I guess it's like either a permanent carnival or, But anyway, you get through it, and Jane doesn't, she accepts the job, but then she doesn't make the cut. But then later on, she does finally get accepted to that job. And when Michael goes to take the test, he takes the test. And then when he goes up to get his phone and turn in the test, he collapses. My first thought when I saw this, I was like, he's having a seizure, because the way it was he jerked around, he fell, and then he jerked some more. So it was kind of like, what is happening? And then you hear the narrator say that line that he said in the first or second season. It was the first season, and it was and Michael loved Jane until his last dying breath. You then hear somebody call 911, he's not breathing. And then you switch over to Jane and Michael's apartment, and you've come to find out Michael actually did not make it, because where the gunshot wound was at, his blood pressure went way too high, and he collapsed. I think it was a stroke or a heart attack. I'm not certain on this, But then that leaves a lot of the fans confused because everyone thought they were supposed to end up together, but then they don't because he's dead. Now, I have seen a lot of comments on different things, and people are saying, like, maybe this. No, it wasn't that. That was my own thought. I'm trying to think. What did they say? They did say some interesting things. Alright, we'll come back to that when I remember. But I thought when I first saw that, I was like, oh, maybe it's a dream. Maybe this isn't happening. Turns out it was real. And people were like he was supposed to die when they're like old, but that didn't happen. Now, let's get on with the theory that I've spent a lot of time discussing and building up to. Alright, so you know how in the beginning she was with Michael and then she got artificially inseminated, and then her and Michael eventually ended up breaking off their engagement, and she, that very same night, went to Raphael. They dated, they broke up, they dated, and then I believe they broke up again. Yeah, they did break up twice. And then she ends up, because after Rose is dead, I put that in quotations because if you notice, no, she's not. She's still not dead, everyone. But here's the thing. I think personally that they left it like that because I was like, oh yeah, Michael is always gonna be the right person. I'm starting to think because of the fact, not because he's the only character left between the love triangle, but I actually have a strong feeling. I was about to say Shonda Rhimes, but that's Grey's Anatomy, which will be another day. Haven't decided yet. I feel like the writers of Jane the Virgin, I don't know who they are, I just know Shonda Rhimes, feel like that they are going to and have Jane end up with Raphael, which I feel like would be kind of good because they do have a kid together. Like, yes, there's Petra and then Elsa and Anna, but I feel like they're still gonna be together. And when you take it into my perspective, I've did this for a little under a year. It's like there's a really strong connection when you think about it, because even when she was engaged, he still loved her, and I really want to say that he still loves her. And which I think is great. Like, I like Raphael and all, but Michael was my go-to. But I guess it's more of a Raphael now because of that. And like, I feel like all of this was because of the fact that he was a lawyer. Like, everyone thought that line from the narrator was going to come when, after he got shot, he was going to be dead. He was going to be pronounced dead, and it was right after they got married. But instead, they did a plot twist when everyone else thought it was that. And they did it when they were finally happy. They were finally moving up their timeline, thinking about having more kids. So Mateo had a little sibling. Well, I think it's like a step sibling, right? Yeah. Like a step sibling or sibling, whatever you want to call it. But that didn't happen. Sadly, it did not occur. I remember I was so in shock, like I had to watch it 4 times, and I'm still not completely certain that that actually happened. Like, it's kind of like iffy, like I don't know, but that's all I have to really say on it. Thank you. My name is Ree, and if you have any thoughts on what's going to end up happening in the future for this show, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Comment, I don't know. Anyway, my name is Ree, and I will see you all when I record again. What else? Please subscribe, comment, like, all of those things, you know, the usual stuff. And I hope you like the intro. I decided to go back to it. But yeah. So, I'm Ree, and I'll see you all next time I record. Please feel free to comment, like, and then please, if you have not already, please subscribe. Thank you.